Hello everyone, I'm Michael Garcia.
And I'm Thomas Biamonte, and welcome to our final episode of The Sailor Station.
What a year it has been. So many things have happened this year, and I'd be confident to say that OHS has had a strikingly good comeback as of recent. Students and staff banded together to work through a 2-year situation, and in the end, we prevailed victoriously.
The Oceanside Fire Department has been an essential part of the Oceanside community. Oceanside video students had the pleasure to work with the Oceanside Fire Department to create a promotional video in an effort to get people to become firefighters and EMTs. That video, which was edited by broadcasting student Sam Farsky, will debut next week and then be available on our Sailor Station YouTube channel.
Last Friday marked the day when many students and staff across the country participated in a nationwide walkout against gun violence. One of our very own Paige Ferrucci created a short film using footage from the event here at Oceanside High School. Let's take a look.
Life is going on until it's not.
The students do care about their own safety. The walkout should show that we care and we want to see change.
Showing that the Oceanside community can come together to address this problem.
I don't know if it's a drill or if I'm actually not going to go home that day.
It's not just the students, it's the staff and the community members. I think it's a powerful statement to make.
Make sure that you tell them that your survival, your safety is everything.
These kids are very courageous, and that's something we should applaud them for.
Why should I have to go to school every single day wondering whether or not today is going to be my last with my peers? I'm not as surprised as I once was to see the next headline, shooting in Buffalo, shooting in Texas, shooting in Connecticut.
Say enough is enough, it's because it's enough.
Throughout the years, students in the broadcasting and video production classes created and submitted several of their projects for film festivals. The latest festival was the Locust Valley Film Festival. We are proud of this year's winners and finalists. Michael Marcoux and John Ekstrom Jr. were named finalists in the music video category. Tim Kunken won first place for his commercial, News Media Reality. Chris Collins won first place for his documentary, Taking a Stand. Sam Farsky won third place for her documentary, Life Fit, third place for her music video, Older, and second place for her PSA, Sources of Strength. John Ekstrom, who won second place for his animated project, Fugitive, and James Lebrano, who won third place for his animated project, 30-Second Quesadilla. Congratulations to all our students who participated in this event. Locust Valley wasn't the only film festival that students participated in this year. Our very own Thomas Biamonte partnered with the Oceanside Library to host this year's Oceanside Video Fest at the Oceanside Jewish Center.
This particular film festival featured the work of Oceanside High School's brightest filmmakers. The evening culminated with the presentation of the Excellence in Education Award to Audrey Miller, the video production teacher at Oceanside High School. That evening, she was given the award and honored for her hard work and dedication. Miss Miller has been a valuable staff member of Oceanside High School, and her mentorship will never be forgotten. We congratulate her on her retirement.
Recently, a College Appreciation Day was held at Oceanside High School, a day where students expressed their college choices and decisions for their futures in personal education. Joining us is Sean Kay to show us more.
Here at Oceanside High School, May 16th, the Guidance Department decided to hold a celebration event for seniors who got accepted to their college. It was held in the school lobby. They also gave out free cookies. They also had an opportunity to use the photo backdrop so students and staff can post photos on social media.
There seems to be a recurring theme this year of renewal at Oceanside High School. Many programs that were absent from last year's events were jump-started again thanks to the decline in COVID-19 cases. This includes things such as the theater department, doing shows and classes returning to their normal schedules and routines from previous years. Recently, students banded together to refurbish an old motor vehicle. Here is Chris Collins to tell us more.
The project is an advanced materials processing build, and instead of working on smaller projects and learning how to use the tools and machines around the lab, we decided that in advanced materials processing we would use those skills that we learned in the first class to work on one holistic goal as a group with the class. So the first year we built a model kitchen. The second year we were like, well, what else can we do? So the second year we built a hydroplane, a 70-mile-an-hour speedboat. The third year we built canoes, and that was kind of during the COVID years, so that was a little bit of a struggle. And then this past year we had an idea, let's build a car. So we decided we'd try that. So this is September, so the vehicle that we had, the cab, just so far rotten. You see all the bottom there, it's all just rotten. We had to cut all the rot and canister spots out. So the motor we completely rebuilt in-house. It's a small block Chevy. It's a 68 327. We brought it to machine shop. They punched it over, 30 over, and the kids built the whole thing from the ground up. So the frame we actually built from scratch. We bought the steel, the kids cut up the steel and welded the steel together to build the frame. And we didn't have a frame table, but we realized that the hallway was perfectly flat. So we welded the frame together in the hallway. Well, the car is what's called a rat rod, which is basically just the hodgepodge of parts. So it's whatever parts we could find to build into a car. Here it is, we got the motor running. This is just before Christmas time. This is when the project became real. The kids got to hear the motor run for the first time, a motor that they built, and it kind of reinvigorated us to get the car going again. This video here, we're welding the floor together. The floor was one of the bigger problem areas for us. We had to cut the old floor out. The old floor was rotten, and in order to get the ride height that we wanted, we had to put a whole new floor in. We raised the floor 7 inches, and we put a new structure in there. Here you can really see the floor coming together. We had to put a whole lattice work in there. It's all welded together. Got the floor pans welded in. Everything's welded as one monolithic piece, and it's nice and solid and straight. And that drops into the frame. It gets bolted to the frame, and then a bed liner got painted down on top of it to seal it up. The electrical system on the car, it's pretty simple, but it's still not the easiest thing to do. That was the only portion of the car that we did not do in class. I kind of grabbed a couple kids and we waged war on the electrical system after class. We spent a couple afternoons working on figuring out the electrical because I had never wired up a car. I've wired up boats and stuff, but the kids had no experience with wiring, and electrical is something that you don't really want to mess around with. This is actually our first time driving the car. This is our first run. We took it for a lap around the front of the school here. Just checking all the systems, checking the fluids, making sure it's not overheating. We had a little problem with some of the fuel systems. The engine was running a little bit on the colder side, so we had a problem with a couple things there. But we got them all sorted out and just brought it back into the shop, wiped it down, cleaned it off, and took care of it. Getting the car registered was one of the more difficult things we had to deal with. You can't just slap a registration on some random car that you built. Otherwise, you would have to pass an inspection and emissions from 2021 or 2022. We had to figure that out. That was a little bit difficult. One of the things we had to do is get the car weighed. So you'll see we're actually taking the car to the weigh station. And one of my students' parents, Mr. Lanning, he was really helpful with that. He took care of us, and we got the car weighed, and we were able to get the car registered on the road. Every kid wants to be able to drive a car. Every kid will be, at some point driving. And it's important to learn about the systems that are going on in a vehicle, what makes it tick. What are you working on?
Drilling a hole for the ground wire for the engine mount.
All right. What are you doing, chum?
Just tightening up bolts, baby.
What bolt are we tightening up?
The motor mount. Get a little tighter up there, baby.
Very nice. Teddy, what are you doing?
Holding the brake down.
What are we doing with the brakes?
Brake fluid and lines.
What do we call what we're doing?
Leaving the brakes.
Very good.
Push it down, and you tighten it, and then you let go and push it down.
Brandon, what are we working on?
Leaving brakes.
All right. Hunter.
Yeah.
What are we working on?
Drilling in the fuel lines.
All right. The braces, right? The braces. There we go. We got brakes. Yep. Lena, what are we working on?
I'm taking the the screws out so that we can just weld this metal plate onto the arcing.
Very good. Attaching the tachometer. Yep. The students, I think, really learned about how a car ticks, what goes on in it, what goes on with each system in the car. A lot of engineering had to go into this. We had to figure out where motor mounts were going to go. We had to figure out the sizes of the frame, how the brakes are going to operate, how we're going to build hydraulic pressure to make this thing stop and to make the clutch work. But additionally, I think they also learned how to troubleshoot and how to work together in a group to overcome a problem, which is, real-world problem solving.
All in all, this year was a great comeback for the students at Oceanside High School. It was great seeing things return to some form of normalcy while adapting to change. If anything, this proves the determination that OHS holds together. As a senior, it will be sad to leave all of this behind, but I'm looking forward to seeing the future of Oceanside High School's best and brightest. If anything, I want to thank my teachers for being a great support system, and I'd like to give a very special thank you to Miss Miller. For the past 3 years, she has mentored and coached me while I took her courses, and it has been quite the learning experience. She really has helped me a lot, and I've been taught more than I thought I could have learned on my own. With that said, thank you all for watching the final episode of The Sailor Station. Be sure to check out the rest of our content and get excited for what's coming next. I'm Michael Garcia.
And I'm Thomas Biamonte.
And for all things Sailor Nation, we are the Sailor Station.